So we are located in Hall 1 E37 in the bearing section. What we are showcasing is how we are working together with customer and the solution which are customer specific. Not just like what we typically do is ball bearing, taper and cylindrical bearings, but the new things which we have been doing it. So one of the few things which we have introduced here is our preset solution which is for commercial vehicle. The second thing which we are talking about it here is the EV electrical vehicle, very high speed capability which can go up to 3 times of our standard bearings. Next thing which we are doing is on the prognostic thing, data enablement in the bearing through the sensorization for different things. And it also helps us, if possible, in the PMSM synchronization, motor synchronization software. Also, we have showcased few things which are coming in the upcoming technology like coatings, lightweighting, etc. Though we say that one bearing is a standard bearing, but they are tailored for each application or the duty cycle. Like for example, for commercial vehicle which are asking for lesser maintenance, higher durability and higher change interval. And for that exactly the reason this ConMet thing comes in, which can give up to 3 times of our conventional UTRBs which used to come in. Similarly, the space is becoming more and more premium. So when the space becomes premium, a couple of things comes in. The internal geometry, the grease, because the stresses which it still needs to work in, and the lightweighting. So in the same space, how can I get more? And that can come through the advanced heat treatment and coating solution as well. The grease selection is another important criteria. How do we select depending on the application? Now that's, I just brought the different aspect. Now similarly, when we look at for electrical vehicle, we have different, depending on the motor size, we need to have a different coating because of electrical insulation. So we have a different couple of solution on that, both from the hybrid bearing to the insulation coating. So that works out that across the range we can work in the for the EV segment. Similarly, for 2-3 wheelers, what we are seeing is still the space. So space is a premium. So how can I get more power out of the same bearing and still get the same output out of it? Yeah, so one of the things which we work with the customers is on the drawing board. So what is the right bearing size? What is the bearing configuration? And can we get that? So there are a lot of times which we work to make sure that the bearing is customized for a particular application. And that's where the R&D plays a very important role. Our application engineering, our product design team talks to the customer engineering team to ensure that we are getting right out of it. And that makes us the differentiation and also makes the customer happy. Similarly, we talk very openly the sealing. So for example, what kind of sealing needs to be done in? Just for an example, if we are putting just a bearing in the sealing and removing all the bearings which are in the OEM concept, we need to make sure there is an agreement in place and we have considered those old failure modes before we say this is final. So that makes us one very differentiation. Second thing which we have is the suite of solutions we have. It is not just that one bearing which we give it. There are times where we have changed the bearing configuration, moving from taper to ball, and the combination of one taper to the ball and cylindrical. That's what makes us very unique when we talk to the customers. I think I've already talked about commercial vehicle. Let me just give another example of two-wheeler. One of the product which we are showcasing is the oil impregnated ball cage assembly. That's a unique product which we have developed our own formulation and a baking. So in this, basically from the OEM perspective, they can even actually come out of one assembly station of greasing. So this comes with the ball, goes in a steering column, and under the load, the lubrication gets released. And when the load comes out, lubrication again comes in. So it helps us in keeping in a dirty environment as well as a very long life. So those kind of things which we look at it, and similarly we have come with the polymer coated bearing for electrical insulation. Next one which I can talk about is on the sensor bearing. We have got this inductive type resolver bearing which gives a very high accuracy. So what we look at it is every application brings a unique things, and based on that we do it. Of course the bearing field is so old, and now we have to still keep evolving. One of the things which we have been working on is how does the bearing works in the hydrogen environment, because as we see commercial vehicle EVs are coming in, but hydrogen is, I think we are going to come in next 5 to 10 years. Correct. So we started researching along with the research institutes what the solution should be. So I think it's a very good question, which again you bring it up, because we have also, as part of it, sustainability drive, we have an ESG initiative, and we are working on all scope 1 and scope 2 as an organization, and scope 3, which is the forward and backward integration. We are working on all the 3 aspects. Now, few things which we are looking for is making sure that the grease, packaging, as well as the cage material, which are not environmental. Steel as such is a very good one because it goes through recycling. So that works out fine, but then we have looked at it, the material, especially for polyamide cages, the greases and so on, which has a very low impact on the environment. Next thing which we are doing it is uses. So that's where the friction reduction becomes very important, and that's the thing which we have started working a lot. Ball bearing is anyway low friction, but the taper and cylindrical, and we have developed our own tools and pattern how to optimize best bearing for a friction reduction.